What's up, Raider Nation? Victor here, and today, we need to talk about the future of this defense. Because everything sounds exciting right now. New head coach, tons of cap space, fresh energy inside the building. But there's one massive question hanging over the Las Vegas Raiders. Who is rushing the quarterback in 2026? We all know the situation surrounding Max Crosby has created uncertainty. Whether he stays or goes, one thing is clear. The Raiders need more pressure off the edge. And now, two very different but very intriguing names are being connected to Las Vegas. The first one? A 27-year-old pass rusher coming off a Super Bowl run with the Seattle Seahawks. Now here's where it gets interesting. His sack numbers dropped to just 2-0 last season, and a lot of fans would stop right there. But if you look deeper, he ranked 8th in the entire NFL in pass rush win rate. That means snap after snap, he's beating his blocker. He's collapsing pockets. He's creating chaos, even if someone else ends up finishing the play. 2 years ago, he had 9 sacks. The year after that, 6. He's entering his prime. And his projected market value? Around $12 million per year. That's not superstar money. That's calculated investment money. And here's the kicker. He already knows our head coach's system. He just played in it at the highest level. Now the second name? Completely different profile. A recently released veteran from the Miami Dolphins, a former Pro Bowler, a guy who many people think is past his prime. But let's look at the numbers when he's healthy. In his last 2 full seasons, 19, 5 combined sacks, 42 quarterback hits, 8 forced fumbles. That's not washed, that's production. Yes, he's about to turn 30. Yes, there's injury history. But if you need a veteran presence in a locker room that might be transitioning, that matters. So here's the real debate. Raider Nation, do you go with the ascending analytics-backed disruptor who's about to peak? Or the proven veteran who can give you immediate steady production and leadership? Because if this team is serious about competing in the AFC West a breeze and chasing down quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, pressure isn't optional. It's mandatory. And don't forget, the Raiders are also being predicted to bring back Eric Stokes, who ranked 19th among all corners by Pro Football Focus last season after starting 16 games. But corners can only cover for so long. If the front doesn't get home, it doesn't matter. So today we're breaking down who these mystery edge rushers really are, how much they'd cost, and which direction makes more sense for this defense. Before we reveal the names and dig into the film, smash that like button if you bleed silver and black and subscribe to Raiders Nation Update, but only if you're a real one. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and this community is growing the right way. All right, Raider Nation, what if I told you the Raiders could be bringing in a Super Bowl pass rusher to reunite with our new head coach? Yeah, that kind of off-season move. There's a new prediction out there that the Raiders could reunite head coach Clint Kubiak with Seahawks pass rusher Boye Mafe. And I'm not gonna lie, this one is interesting. Why Boye Mafe makes sense. The prediction comes from Greg Allman, who believes the Raiders could target Mafe in free agency. Now, Mafe is coming off a Super Bowl run with the Seattle Seahawks, and even though his sack numbers dipped in 2025, just 2. 0 sacks. The deeper analytics tell a different story. Let's talk real numbers. In 2023, Mafe had 9 sacks. In 2024, he had 6. In 2025, just 2. On the surface, that looks like decline. But here's the stat that matters. He had the 8th best pass rush win rate in the NFL, according to ESPN. 8th. That's elite company. He ranked just 2 spots behind Myles Garrett. Pass rush win rate measures how often a defender beats his blocker within 5 seconds. That's disruption. That's pressure. And pressure changes games, even if it doesn't always show up as sacks. Seattle had the fewest points allowed in the league last season. Mafe was an undervalued piece of that defensive front. Now ask yourself this. If Max Crosby gets traded, and we've all heard the rumors, do we really feel good about our current pass rush depth? Exactly. The financial angle. Here's what makes this even more appealing. SpotRack projects Mafe's market value around 3 years, $36 million. That's about $12 million per year. In today's pass rusher market, that's affordable, especially for a 27-year-old who's entering his prime. The Raiders currently have the second most available cap space in the league. We can afford this. And if Malcolm Koonce walks in free agency, Mafe becomes even more logical. He's not Max Crosby, let's be clear. But if you're building a younger, balanced defensive front, this is the kind of calculated signing smart teams make. Eric Stokes, the quiet priority. Now here's another prediction from Allman that I actually love. He believes the Raiders will re-sign Eric Stokes. And honestly, They should. Stokes came to Vegas on a one-year, $4 million prove-it deal after struggling with injuries and inconsistency with the Green Bay Packers. All he did in 2025? Start 16 games, stay healthy, play at a high level. Pro Football Focus ranked him as the No. 19 cornerback in the league. That's legit CB1 level performance. He's only 26 years old. Former first-round talent. Finally healthy. Yes, it'll likely cost double what we paid last year. But let's be honest. When was the last time we had stability at corner? You don't let a 26-year-old starting caliber corner walk when you have cap space. You just don't. Big picture. What this says about the direction. Here's what I love about these predictions. They show a clear direction. If Kubiak brings over a guy like Boye Mafe, that's culture continuity. That's scheme familiarity. That's a coach trusting someone he knows. If we re-sign Stokes, that's stability in the secondary. Those aren't flashy moves. Those are foundational moves. And sometimes, Raider Nation, that's how you build something sustainable instead of chasing headlines. Now, let me ask you, would you rather pay big money for a star pass rusher? Or sign someone like Mafe who wins consistently but doesn't always fill up the stat sheet? And is Stokes a must-sign in your opinion? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your take. Raider Nation, I'm going to ask you a real question right now. If the Max Crosby situation goes sideways, are we really comfortable with our current pass rush? Because a former Pro Bowl edge just hit the market, and the Raiders might need to make a call. What's up, Raider Nation? This is Victor, and you're watching Raiders Nation Update, the home for die-hard silver and black fans. If you live and breathe Raiders football like I do, smash that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. We are pushing toward 2,000 subscribers, and only the real Raider Nation is helping us get there. All right, let's talk about a name that just became very interesting. Bradley Chubb, veteran with gas left? The Miami Dolphins shocked the league with a wave of releases, and one of the biggest names was veteran edge Bradley Chubb. Chubb is about to turn 30 before the 2026 season kicks off. And I know, some fans hear that number and immediately think decline. But let's slow down and look at the numbers. In his last two healthy seasons, 2023, 11, 0 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 22 QB hits 2025, 8. 5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 20 QB hits, and across those two seasons, 8 forced fumbles. That's production. That's disruption. That's not washed. Now yes, injuries have been part of his story. And yes, people say he hasn't been the same since his early days with the Denver Broncos. But here's the twist, Raider Nation. His last two healthy seasons were actually his most productive campaigns since his rookie year. That matters. The Max Crosby cloud. Let's address the elephant in the room. The Max Crosby situation is still hanging over this franchise. Is he staying? Is he leaving? Is this just off-season noise? We don't know. But what we do know is this. Tyree Wilson hasn't developed the way we hoped. Malcolm Kuntz is heading toward free agency. And if Crosby leaves, our pass rush goes from dangerous to concerning overnight. That's reality. Why Chubb makes sense. Here's where it gets interesting. Clint Kubiak was on the Broncos coaching staff in 2022, when Chubb was there. Familiarity matters. Scheme comfort matters. Locker room trust matters. Chubb wouldn't have to walk into Vegas and learn everything from scratch. If Crosby stays, Chubb becomes a high-end complementary piece. Imagine offensive lines trying to double Crosby while Chubb is coming off the other edge. That's problems. If Crosby leaves, Chubb becomes your veteran anchor while you draft young edge talent in April. And this draft class is loaded with edge rushers. He could bridge the gap. The price tag question. Now let's talk money. Chubb could command around $14 million per year. That's not cheap. And you have to factor in age and injury history. But compare that to elite pass rushers making $25–30 million per year. For a team with cap flexibility, it's not crazy. The real question is this. Do you want to rely entirely on rookies in a division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert? Because if Crosby walks and we don't sign a veteran, that's the gamble we're taking. My honest take. If Max stays, I still consider it, but only at the right price. If Max leaves, you absolutely have to bring in a proven veteran. You cannot enter 2026 hoping draft picks magically replace 10+ sacks and leadership. Chubb isn't a superstar anymore. But he's still productive, still disruptive, still capable of changing games. And Raider Nation, sometimes the smart move isn't flashy. It's strategic insurance. Now I want to hear from you. Would you sign Bradley Chubb if the price is right? Or would you rather invest completely in the draft and go young at edge? Drop your take in the comments. Let's debate it. And if you're rocking with Raiders Nation Update, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and every single real Raider fan matters. This is Victor. And no matter what happens with the pass rush, just win, baby.